Hey, everybody. It's been a long minute. Welcome to Tuesday night Grumpy Acres Homestead update and chat. Glad to see you guys. It's been a couple of weeks, a couple of busy weeks, right?
Busy.
But we are here. We hope you guys have had a great time and everything's going good for you. Let's see. Let's say hi to who's in the chat. Tamber was here first, and then Lynn. What's up, man? Jane, Starla's here. Starla, hope you're feeling well. Excuse me. But we have had a busy week. So
there's Beth Emily.
Oh, Beth Emily popped in. Hey. So what happened 2 weeks ago that we weren't able to be on? Your dad and
my dad was here.
We had visitors.
Yeah.
They came and visited from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and it was a nice visit.
It was a wonderful visit. It was good seeing them. So, hey, Mom and Dad.
But we did that. And
we're their favorite TV show on Tuesday night. Did you know that?
No, I did not know.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad. But thank you anyway for showing up, everybody. And then we turned right around and had more guests come in the house. And who was that?
My cousin Megan and Jason.
That's right. You guys
and their kids.
If you go back about 3 years ago, we did a video of their place in their homestead in Colorado. It's a very interesting watch. It's very rough, and it was right whenever we were starting out, but it's a good interview with them, and it shows what you can do on a little tiny piece of property
in the Rocky Mountains, and they are smack dab.
Yeah,
in the Rocky Mountains.
In the mountains, they're up at about what, 7,000 feet?
No, higher than that.
Higher than that,
because they're right below Estes Park. And I want to say Estes is 13,000.
No, it's not that high.
Are you sure about that?
No, because what's the big peak right there?
Pikes?
No, not Pikes. Anyway, that's only 11 something.
I don't know. Anyway, they're high up there.
Yeah, Starla remembers the chicken coop. Yeah, in fact, they got here and showed us a picture. They had a bear
to fight off another bear.
The bear literally jumped the fence and was in the chicken run trying to get into the coop. Yeah. And they went out and scared it away. They had a picture of it. It was a little brown. Well,
them grizzlies, those grizzlies, they're smart.
No, that was a brown bear.
Was it a brown bear?
It was a brown bear. But still, you just as quick as a grizzly will.
Yeah. For sure.
But it was nice. I'm not gonna lie, we missed you guys a little bit, but it was nice having a break on Tuesday nights. Yeah, Starla says it's under. I think it's like 75 is where it is. Yeah, they're like 7,072 or something like that.
Something in there. I know when you come down the what is that called, the switchbacks, you do come down quite a bit.
Yeah,
but not by much.
Yeah, that's a good.
You think?
Yeah, it's a good 300, 400 foot drop, easy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
but they came out and it was nice visiting. We hadn't seen them since what, 4 years now.
Yeah, Uncle Claude's been gone for 4 years.
But what else did we do around here? Well, what interesting came out of the visits?
Well, possibly my cousins could be moving here.
They were talking about.
Yeah, looking at stuff. And then I got some organization for the kitchen, kind of streamline that, clean that up a little bit. That was nice. And then we went over quite a bit of gardening and tips and tricks, and they took some plants home and got some of their stuff going. Jason's really into the tree guild, so he's doing gonna replicate the tree guilds there. So we sent him back with some comfrey roots and that kind of stuff.
Comfrey and Jerusalem artichokes.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Guys, my brain is fried. So, but it was a really good visit and it was amazing. Hey, Randy. And so I'm really happy about that. I so love to have them out here. Yeah. Not gonna lie. So they're freaking cool people.
Then it was nice. It was nice visiting with them. And then I came home one day and was messing around with the animals, and I was like, I need to mow. And I looked around, and somebody had mowed my yard.
Yeah.
The part of the yard that needed to be mowed. And I was like, well,
And
thank you
fixed
very
her
much.
light switch and fixed the bathroom place. So I should have left a honeydew list. But anyway, and they got to do some antiquing and some things like that and kind of explore it and that kind of thing. So it was really cool.
Went out to eat
a great visit.
Went out to eat a couple times.
Yeah. Yep. So Dad took us out to some nice places and yeah, had a good time. So yeah.
It rained a little bit this last 2 weeks, so we got some well needed moisture. Gardens finally starting to take. I call it a garden. It's not real. I can't really consider it a garden this year. It's just a bunch of plants we're growing this year because it's not really.
It's a plant. Hope they kill the weeds and survive.
Yeah. Well, and I'll take you guys out. I'll take you guys out on a visit to the garden plot because it kind of irritates me the way it's coming along. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's doing great.
The bamboo. There was bamboo out there, and last year it was nothing but weeds. I mean, weeds, stuff we did not want. And now it's got really nice grass growing in it. And you know, as useless as it is, I enjoy good grass. You know, so the garden is covered with a good 2.5 inches of grass that I'm going to end up having to kill eventually.
Yeah.
You know, but we got squash, pumpkins, watermelon, the grapevines that we thought were dead came back. Hey, Virginia.
Hey.
But everything's coming back, and it looks like it's going to be a good plot, and it's far enough away from where the goats and sheep are that they don't get into it. Wow. And there's another thing. The past 2 weeks, I've been working with Dolly on herding the animals, and she's still got some major problems, but she's getting way better.
She's doing fantastic,
and she's doing stuff on her own. She knows when they're not when they are where they're not supposed to be, and she'll go chase them back. Got some problems with taking them home because she thinks that her spot when it's time to take them home is to sit up by the fence and make sure they
all get in.
Yeah, she's not helping them get in. She's just up there
supervising,
and then she barks at Lola.
Her and Lola,
you know, and then baby boy is living out in the pen with all the rest of the animals now. He was not too happy this morning. The lightning and thunder kind of scared him.
I bet it did, man. Those storms were crazy. I slept through it, so it was fine. And when I woke up this morning, the tales of what I got from the storms that came in were not good.
I didn't think it was that bad. Of course, I was inside working at work this morning.
Yeah.
But so there's that. What else? Oh, big development. This is a good thing, but it's a bad thing. Or is it a bad thing on top of a good thing?
I don't know what you're talking about, Willis.
We ended up having to buy a car.
Oh yeah, no, total bad.
In the last 2 weeks, we had to buy a car, and unfortunately, because of our finances, you know, the emergencies we've had over the last 3 years, the everything that's going on with her medical bills, we had to pay or get a car payment. So this is the first car payment we've had since
2004.
Since 2004, and it blows. So we're in the
monkey chunks.
We're in the process of running the Dave Ramsey debt snowball because we got a little bit of debt that was racked up getting the house together and with the Grumpy Acres
but
business.
man, it seems like that's just dwindling fast.
Do what?
Seems like that's just dwindling fast.
What's dwindling fast?
The debt.
We just started paying on it, so I don't know how fast it's going to dwindle.
Well, but I mean, I'm seeing differences, so I don't know. But and then we have 60 days to renegotiate some terms of our car loan, so we're trying to get as much money down on that as possible to get that out of the way. But had to happen. I had to have a safe car that I could get back and forth. Did I say left them free in here? Yeah. Hey, Texter.
The
tag. I need to get with you because of the new car. I don't have an EMP shield free for it, and so I need to grab one, dude.
We need 2 vehicle ones actually.
What
He's
is it
asking who's working on World War III and who's focusing on Civil War. I'm focusing on getting the homestead squared away like I've been doing for the last 3 years.
We'll just sum it down. The Marxists are working on Civil War.
Let's not talk about that right now. We're still on the update phase. We're still on the update.
You're gonna tell them to hold off. You got to hold off tag. Got to wait.
Yeah,
hang with us.
If you want to hear an answer to that question, you're gonna have to wait. Stick around a little bit.
Ooh, it's a loaded question right there.
But, you know, we're the thing about the debt. If it happens to you, don't let it get to you.
Nope. Chomp away at
these things happen. These things happen, and it's not the end of the world.
Nope.
You know, you take a step back and you just start attacking it again. I mean, we've been debt free
years.
Well, at least 3 times that I know of.
Oh yeah, how many times? Yeah, 3 times. Crap happens, man. It's just kind of the way that it is. And but you know, at least you're in a good spot where you can get it done. And you know, I went back to an old career that I never thought I'd go back to. And the weird part is maybe just like I was too young for that career. And now, like, I'm loving it. I am loving what I'm doing.
No, I think you were working for a bunch of crooks when you in the first round.
That may have been it too.
That made it hard for you to get a job in the Kansas City area because they never.
Yeah, I probably would have stayed in that realm. Yeah.
Every time we applied for a couple of banking jobs, and because of her attachment to that bank, even though she did nothing wrong, in fact, they fired her because she actually found out what was going on.
I was the whistleblower.
And they fired her, but nobody would hire her because she was associated with that bank.
Right. Yep.
So, you know, but now the experience is paying off for you.
Yes, it is. And I'm so incredibly happy. And so, yeah, it's doing wonderful. Yeah. And no, so it's just wonderful. But you've got things mapped out, and we got down and budgeted, and we'll be debt free again next year. And
20,
yeah, I thought you said January.
The end of 2026.
Actually, it'll probably be before.
It's going to be pushed out a little bit unless we get a second stream of income or a third stream of income coming in, because we're going to have expenses. I mean, that's true. That's true. When you're doing this stuff, you got to be realistic. Yeah, expenses are going to come up, and
well, but I would say maybe 6 months. So that is the leeway. It depends. Like if knock on wood, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So then it'll be sooner than the later. But yeah, no, totally cool. Totally cool.
Guys, if it happens to you, just budget out a plan, stick to the plan as best you can, and just get out from underneath it. That's all you can do. You know, don't lose sleep over it. You know?
But God, that car about killed me. I'm telling you. And then cars are so full of technology right now. Like I'm dying. I am so dying. It took me 2 days to figure out how to work the windshield wipers.
She said when we were looking at the car, she said the most old personist thing I've ever heard. She looked at it and she's like, "These cars have all kinds of newfangled technology in it." And I just busted up laughing.
Oh my goodness. And it's like, so I have to pull out the owner's manual because you've got to be a rocket scientist just to change the clock in this thing. And then, oh my God, I'm trying to get the phone hooked up to the car. And then like you figured that out. And then the other guy figured it out. And then it was, I pull up to the stoplight. I was heading to work. Oh, I was so mad. Heading to work and I'm at a stoplight and I'm like, oh no. And I'm getting ready to have a panic attack. I'm like dying.
Why were you getting ready to have a panic attack?
My engine turned off. So apparently it does that. And so when I took my foot off the brake pad, oh my goodness. When I took my foot off the brake pad, the engine started again. So now I'm used to it. So now it's okay. But oh man, I just like to die.
So you guys, Lynn says, look at how much the principal is on each payment. Add that amount to each payment. So what you're doing is you're taking the equivalent of a principal payment I'm sorry. Yeah, you're taking and adding an extra principal payment every month.
Yep.
So you're basically paying twice as much principal as what they want you to.
And then also, if you can't do that, then make 52 payments or at least 26 payments instead of 12 payments. So get that done. That works too.
Yeah, and one of the downsides of living debt free is your interest
Interest rate.
your credit score. Your credit score,
your credit score
tends to suffer, and then if you have any one bad thing on there, it just suffers that much more because there's no activity on it.
Yeah.
You know, and so it doesn't bother me that my credit score is low because I honestly not going to use credit after this if I can help
Well,
it.
but that was what was so weird is that I would have thought ours would have been the same, but it's not because everything's in your name pretty much.
Yeah, so all the bad stuff that
reflects
happens
on him.
all the bad stuff that happened on our credit over the years is on my name and not hers.
Yeah. So the car loan is only in my name. That scares the crap out of me. We're not gonna lie.
Don't lose your
It's a
job.
lot. So I was like, I'd really
You could
rather
go back to
after.
Casey's and make
I'm
car
not
payments.
doing that. No, I couldn't make car payments off that. There's no way. So 37 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
Wanna
People
what?
with 37
Give you a
trillion
credit
debt.
score. Yeah. Yeah.
On that,
Isn't that crazy?
Tag brings up a very good point. You know, the people that give me financial advice unsolicited always tend to be the people that are living paycheck to paycheck. They've got a mortgage. They've got a huge car payment. They've got subscriptions to all the streaming services and all this. Yeah, I don't need people that are in debt giving me financial advice, period. You know, there's a reason why they're in debt, and there's a reason why I'm trying to get out of debt. And the two just don't meet at any point.
No corner.
AZDES, no idea. Cut its went first by 5%. I was one of the 5%. July 4th is the official date.
Oh no.
Dan Fed employees got 6 months severance, and we get nothing. But see it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What is DES though? Arizona Department of something, but I'm not sure what the ES stands for. No quarter. Yeah, you know, it's rough. There's a lot of rough times. I really don't want to talk about the economy right now, but we'll talk about it in a bit. We'll talk. I want to get through the update. I want to talk about the fun stuff. You know, we've got a couple of
environmental services.
Oh, okay.
Economic security. Excuse me. Department of Economic Security.
But we got 2 new goats.
Department of Economical Security got screwed. Imagine that.
Welcome to the Arizona Department of Economic Security. But we got 2 new goats. We traded the hacks they took 2 female sheep. We got 2 female goats. We've got way too many animals still. And so but we also have dog food that needs to be processed, and we've got, we just got to wait for cooler weather. The plan is to get rid of as many of the pygmies as possible.
Yes.
And get some money in our pockets off of that to help.
That's your plan. My plan is to put them in the freezer for dog food.
Pygmies is too much work. They're too small.
It's craziness.
You know,
you be ridiculous.
I could sell those.
What you talking about?
I could sell those 7 or 8 pygmies and buy 7 or 8 months worth of 1,800-pound hay bales.
Okay, then prove it. You need to hire Grumpy's Goat Yard Service.
Well, actually, funny you should say that.
He was actually thinking about doing that.
Funny you should say that. Well, I was just talking to Amber the other day. They need their potty pond taken care of. So
they want to throw a couple over there?
Yeah, we're gonna take a couple over there and just let them use them. And it's a big lot. The area that they're ponding is huge.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it's way overgrown.
Yeah. How about it?
They'll
transport them in the truck, not my car.
No, I'm sticking them in the back.
No
crate, no.
That's what Chris does to Missy. I don't do that to me.
Goat meat is good when it's made like. See, I've only had goat meat twice. I had once in Mexico and one in the Middle East.
Middle East will ruin you for life.
And so will Mexico. They did not do a good job.
So I've had goat in Mexico and it was fine. And a lot of weddings in San Diego. It was fine. And so that was all good.
Tag just bartered for a bunch of round bells.
Oh, 1,200 of them?
1,200 pounds.
Oh, nice.
1,200 pound round bells.
Oh, okay. So what's he? Nice. Yeah. We got a hookup for next year. So Cowboy's hooking us up. And so we've got that. We're gonna store those over at Chris's. So, and those are what?
Actually, I'm gonna bring half of them over here.
Are you?
Store them over here because I'm tired of having to
Go back and forth.
Drive over there to get them. I'm just gonna pay them all at one time and store 5 or 6 of them here.
It's not that it's far; they're right next door. But in a skid steer, well, okay. First of all, next door in Kansas is relative.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's on a skid steer trying to get that done.
See, everybody's throwing out goat recipes and telling how good it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lynn is like goat and camel on the same plate, and Saudi once is enough.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's what
right,
G says. Yeah.
And you don't like goat because you had it in that African restaurant.
I want to eat it. I want to eat it. The milk is one thing, and I use that in cheese, and then I'll make cheese with it, and then I also make soap. I will not, absolutely will not eat it.
Yeah, next fall is when we start trying to milk the goats again.
Yeah,
I mean, we had
back in the money.
We had the 2 females, and we were getting almost a gallon a day out of them. So we've got the females we have now are smaller, but we'll probably get 2 or 3 gallons out of it easy a day.
If we can get them all on the same breeding schedule and get them all knocked out at the same time, that'd be ideal, because we just throw them back to back, and then we get that.
No, HG, goat tastes like goat. Period.
And it's especially disgusting when the hair is still on it.
Yeah, we were doing a mission trip up in North Kansas City.
I think I blessed every corner with my innards.
Well, we stopped at it was a West African place. It was run by a bunch of Muslims, and the meat was fresh because it still had the hair on it. A lot there was hair in the meal, and I liked it. The meal was pretty good, but they spiced it up so much that you couldn't taste the billy goat in it.
Sure could see the hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was disgusting.
That was a very interesting trip. So we made a bunch of New Testament CDs in the various languages there.
No, I only did it in Swahili because Swahili is universal.
Was it just
anyway, Swahili is universal.
So we made these CDs with the New Testament on it, and we were handing them out to people, and the immigrants up there. There's a huge Arab, West African population up in the area of the city we were in. So we're handing these out, and we stopped at this restaurant to eat, and the women were sitting at one table and the men were sitting at the other table when we walked in because it was segregated, and they did not like the white women being in there. You could tell they were agitated.
They were agitated. We were there.
So anyway, we're sitting there eating, and this lady comes up. She's in not a burqa, but she's got
she was in the full garb.
She's got the robe and she got the hijab on, and she's very animated and she's very upset. And she made a great big huge deal about giving us back the CD, the case. And she just went on and on and on. And she made sure that all the men in that place knew that she was giving us back that Christian stuff. And she walks out, and we open the case, and the case is empty. So she kept the CD and made a big deal about giving it back, and so that everybody in the community thought that she was not listening to Christian stuff. It was very interesting. And I hate to say this. This was 2005, 2006, maybe.
I don't even know. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere. It was somewhere around there.
Somewhere in there.
Maybe later than that.
I was Lexi was 12.
Well, anyway, it was the mid 2000s at the latest, and the area in Kansas City that we went to was like walking into a third world country. Seriously, it was not Kansas City. And that was that long ago. And
No, it's terrible now.
I'm sure it's gotten even worse.
Yeah. It is terrible. Zach, what's going on?
And the pastor of the church we were working with, Omar, it was a independent Baptist church, and he had what?
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was independent.
No, it was part of Blue River. It was Southern Baptist.
Okay, it was Southern Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 16 different dialects spoken in his church. Mm-hmm. He had 3 services on Sunday morning with the 3 major dialects. Mm-hmm. And the one of the
Habib or
mullahs,
something like that.
one of the mullahs from the local Muslim community would come and sit in the back of the church before every service and take note of who was going to the Christian service in their community. Yeah. Tell me. No, I'm not going to go there right now. I'm not going to. That's not. I'm not going to talk about. I'll say it later. I'll say it later because you don't want to sit through the political stuff, do you? Okay.
I can't. I just, because of my career path and where I'm at now, and back to doing what I did before, I cannot. Nobody can know where I work, and we cannot. Right. Remember what happened when I was in real estate, and I had that incident. So we just won't. I won't. But he can say whatever he wants.
Yep.
We're just married. So, but I'll just step away. So I'm not attached to it. But it doesn't mean I don't agree with you. Doesn't mean I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Just means I'm going to be a little bit careful right now because now I have a freaking car payment on top of medical bills. So got to get it taken care of.
Yeah, things around here the last 2 weeks have been going pretty good.
Yeah.
It's evened out. You're feeling a lot better about yourself because you feel like you're accomplishing something.
Do I? Are you sure about that?
Yes, your attitude has changed big time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it was just seeing my dad, and then Megan and Jason and all that. And, but I don't know, because I miss my family, especially my family that I love. Mm-hmm. And so Linda came and spoiled me a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. She spoiled me a lot. Dad spoiled me a lot. I like being spoiled once in a while, and sometimes I do. I just miss my daddy, and it just kind of is what it is.
Did you say you miss your daddy?
I did, and I miss having a mom. And so when Linda is here, and I do think of Linda as my mom. And so when I think of what was that? What did he say?
Can we call it Happy Acres Farm?
No, and so. No, because he'll lose his temper at some point. Harry has. Never heard it. So I heard somebody yell at somebody because. Never mind. We don't have to go there. But I just kind of kept a straight face, and I looked at him and I'm like, really? So okay, stress comes on many, many levels, and it just seems like as soon as you're like, okay, I need to be contributing, I need to be doing something. I see how stressed out he is. And so I suck it up, go back to a career that I really wasn't sure I wanted to be back into. And so I go back to it, and then I get yelled at because I went back into it. Not because it was bad, but because apparently I should have done it 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, we weren't where we are now. So I didn't see the need to do that. I thought I was going to be able to help more here. So anyway, so there's always stress. Don't ever think that there's no stress. And we always told you guys that we'll be honest with you. So if you think life back here is perfect, it is not. So, but is it getting better? Are we making it roll on? We are. And are we still on the plan, even with everything going, still on the plan to have the back of the house floor leveled done so that we can get the house finished? We at least got to get that bedroom finished.
I know that.
Yeah. No, but are we on plan with that? Is that still happening? Or
by July 4th? No.
I don't know if it's going to happen by July 4th. And I kind of knew that when you didn't go get wood 3 weeks ago. So, but
yeah, it's going to get done.
Are we still looking at the end of the year though?
I'd like to, yes.
Okay. So
remember I said their expenses would come up?
Oh, is that part of that?
Yes, that's expensive.
Okay. But the really cool thing is that Jason is planning on coming from Colorado, stay with us for a week, and he's going to help knock that out.
He's a construction guy.
Oh God, he's such a good carpenter. You should see what he's done with their cabin in Colorado.
He knows how to do stuff.
Yeah, so he's going to come out, and then we'll get that knocked out. Sucky part is the kids will be here. Not sucky that they're going to be here, but sucky part is
you say that before the trip. But by the end of their trip, that tune may change.
What, that it's sucky?
That it may be sucky once they're here. After they're here for 3 or 4 days.
Oh no, but
go home.
No, but so we got to figure that out, sleeping arrangements, that kind of thing. And then Skates may be camping here. She may be camping at Tags. I have no idea what the plan is there. And so we'll have to figure that one out. But yeah, so anyway, the 4th of July weekend, we're gonna have a house full of people, one way or the other.
Or a yard full.
Or a yard full, one of the two. I'm okay with that. We just throw everybody in.
You know what?
Kids might actually like that.
There's a video there.
A yard full of kids.
No, how well you manage obstacles. Because quite frankly, it's nothing but obstacles.
What did he say? I didn't like.
He said it's not how well you. The measure of a homesteader is not how well you grow food. It's how you manage obstacles.
Yeah.
It is. It's nothing but obstacles. Even growing food is an obstacle.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but but we're getting back. We're getting back into a better situation, better position. I'm feeling good about it. And so, but he's getting frustrated. He's like, "Did you sell eggs?" I'm like, "I forgot." You know, like when I get into the grind and I'm up there, pretty much locked in, high security, and it's not like I can just send out willy-nilly messages of "I've got this for sale." You know, da 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 da.
Just walk into the office and before you sit down, just at the top of your lungs, "I've got eggs for sale."
Well, we do have our own little private Zoom because we use Zoom meeting and that kind of thing. So I could probably put something in there. I'll just have to remember to do it and get those done. But anyway, thank you, Independent Mini. I think pretty much everybody on here is on there.
Oh.
Why is everybody getting sick?
I have no idea.
So, it's probably from the thunderstorms. Everybody's stressed out over the weather. The dogs, it's like craziness. We didn't go through anything like Wichita went through, what Nebraska went through. So, Nebraska suffered many tornadoes last night, and then Wichita. I was talking to some customers that were out in that area, and they had hurricane force winds come through there, and I believe they clocked somewhere between 101 and 105 miles an hour. So they got a bunch of trees down and a bunch of people without electricity.
Yeah, so, we're not supposed to get the heavy rain until tonight, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they were calling tornadoes. So we're on an
inch of rain on Wednesday.
I hope nothing on Thursday, and hopefully it dries out fast because we're supposed to go Thursday and go plant and help somebody get their garden going. He actually got it tilled; it's ready to go. So not we, as in you and me.
Oh, I was going to say because I'm butchering a sheep Thursday.
Me and Mossy Oak Carrot.
Oh, and
so we're going to go help them with their garden and get that stuff in. So I miss tornadoes. Grew up right outside Omaha. No, I don't miss them. And I don't like seeing them. So,
Skeens had to boil water for 24 hours.
Wow.
But, and it's one of those things. You just deal with the stuff that comes.
Yeah. Skeens is going to be here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Next month. So if she can get away with it, probably earlier. But next month is what it's looking like. So we're going to have to, not just to visit, but permanently. So I got to talk to her and see how that job search is going. So I do, not that I think I would, but I don't want to have the same conversation with her that I had to have with somebody else.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so we'll get her all set up. Oh, we missed an ample opportunity to purchase a kick butt. What would you call it? It's an RV, right? So a kick butt RV and motor home, whatever. Yeah. And oh my God. It was funny because we were talking about getting one right before Megan and Jason got here so they could have their own private space and that kind of thing.
Before we had to buy a car.
And so then a friend of ours called and he's like, hey, my dad's selling. And I'm like, oh man. And we were like, this was before the car, right? So we were like, we could make payments and have it paid off in what would we think, 3 months, something like that, couple months. And we were like, we'd have that paid off, no problem. And he's like, I don't know if he'll take payments. It's a good thing he didn't take payments because his transmission started falling out. And it was time for Mama to buy a new car and him to take the truck because that truck wasn't doing me any favors anyway. And in where I go to work, in a parking garage, that truck is way too big.
Well, she went from 16 miles a gallon on the freeway to 40. So it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And this is the newest vehicle we've ever owned.
In a lifetime, not in a life. No, no. You bought me that Intrepid for Christmas one year in the 90s. Remember that?
I guess it was only 3. That one was only 3 years.
It was not all techno like my car now. Now it's like get with everybody's business. And I finally learned there's a key in my fob.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you about that.
Yeah, you press the little button, it comes right out.
Yep.
I don't know where to put the key, so I gotta find out where to put the key.
Read the manual.
I need to read the manual before I get locked out of my car.
She kept coming to me saying, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, read the manual. There's a manual in there. Learn how to do it. What's going to happen when I'm gone? You're going to have to read the manual. So get in the habit of doing it now.
So like I'm learning that a lot. There's a lot we need to take care of with our affairs and that kind of thing. And I'm back into where it's in my face. So we got to get some things taken care of and solved.
Yeah.
So we need to do that quick.
Stuff updated.
Things need to be updated. We need to get payable on deaths taken care of. We need to make sure that you're not just a beneficiary, but you're on every single account that I'm on. I'm on every single account that you're on. We need to make sure all that stuff's done. So, because what we quickly learned is that it is just not a bank or financial institution of any sort. It is also mortgage companies. It is also
Keep talking.
what do you call it? I guess that would be technically a mortgage company, right? So even though it's not a mortgage, it's a car loan. But any of the financial institutions that loan, if you're not on that account, they're not sharing with you. And if you think you're a beneficiary, that means you're on the account, they're not going to share with you. Keep
talking to them. We have a goat with its head stuck in the fence. So I got to go get it out.
So hurry. You're slow. And so anyway, so we're learning, we're relearning all of that. Things are not the way they used to be in the old days. When we were younger and earlier before all this technology. And
we got more stuff.
Yeah, and we have more stuff. So there's more stuff that we need to take care of and get everything in order. And we definitely learned that after our accident. And then as we're starting to learn things. So anyway, I have more testing and that kind of thing coming up, speaking of the accident. So this stuff's getting taken care of. And I'm not sure that nightmare is ever going to end. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's why you don't get goats. Gotta have goats, man. Otherwise, I'm paying $15 for a quart of goat's milk, and I'm not doing that. So, but I like cheese and I like my goat's milk soap, so I'd rather do it. Yeah, oil prices up again. Fill up, everyone. Yeah, that was going to happen, and then they may come down again. So we'll see what happens with Russia. I know he doesn't want to talk about this until later, but they're saying a lot of that this war could be overnight. It could be a couple of days. It could be a week, but they don't think that it's going to be long term. So that they're thinking it's not going to be a year, 2 years. This is kind of some of the predictions that are coming through. I'm not so sure about that. I think that I know a couple of things, and I know where some of my family members are being stationed and where they're being deployed to. And I'm going to say right now that get ready, better buckle up. So this is just one distraction, and your real eye should be on China. So yeah, Iran and Russia. I think China too. That's a distraction, and I think China's going to try to take Taiwan. So my brother just got deployed. He leaves tomorrow, and he's getting deployed. So he's not going anywhere near Russia. And there's some other people that are getting deployed, and they are not going near Russia. And then my son-in-law got to play war games for the last week and a half. And so there's that. So yeah, we got a lot. Would you cut yourself?
No.
What are you doing now? Will you need a white flag to tell the goat to get back in? Oh, he's grabbing a bunch of paper towels. I mean, what do you? Oh, you're cleaning up her stuff. But yeah, so there's some stuff to consider and think about. Don't get distracted by everything that you see. There's not just one picture going on. There are several scenes behind the curtain, and so just make sure that you're seeing that. Tag started it. He knew I'd fall for it. Cause he's like, oh yeah, you is uncomfortable talking by yourself. Let's give her something she can talk about. So that's what he did.
So that goat,
you blame him.
that goat acted like it was my fault its head was stuck in the
Probably
fence.
was. What side of the fence was it stuck in?
It was on that side of the fence, but it stuck its head through. Not. Yeah, so it was mad at me because I was getting it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
are there any more updates?
Let's see. We're broke. We're fixing it.
It's okay. It's okay to step back.
It's okay to step. Well, we're not really stepping back. We're moving forward. We just took an additional step to get to where we need to
Right.
get to where we need to go. And yeah, I don't know, getting the whole meal prep situation, doing all that. That's been fun.
Okay.
So what is all that? Oh my gosh, is that the notes and everything that you have going on?
No.
Well, I gotta
If
listen
you-
to you.
Okay. Do you want? Hey, listen.
No, I mean I'll listen to you. From
We're
over there.
45 minutes in. Update homestead update done is part. I can't talk right now.
Oh yeah, I see what you're
The
saying.
homestead update part is done.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time to just general chat.
Okay.
Before we get into general chat, let's see if we can't pay some bills. Summertime, guys. Perfect time to buy a sun oven.
Mm-hmm.
It's the All-American Sun Oven is the best solar cooker on the market. High quality. We've been using them for years. We introduced the community to them, and a lot of people in the community use them. And
we need to get with Fred. So now, if you get the bundle, those also come with a parabolic lens.
no, that's
That's
not the Sun Oven.
Oh,
the
sorry.
rock
All right, but that reminds me. Anyway, we need to get a hold of Fred.
But now's the
Okay.
time to get one and learn to use it. If you use the QR code that's right there, that will take you to our affiliate link on Sun Oven, and you can buy yourself a Sun Oven. Listen, guys, we don't promote anything that we haven't used. All right,
And we don't love using.
and all the affiliate links are things that we truly believe in and we truly use on a regular basis. So go out. If you want to help yourself, you can help us in the process by using the affiliate links.
Mhm.
And you can use that. You can scan the code or you can go down the link in the description. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. All right, guys. Tomorrow be at least 10% better than you were today. Going up to 10%. Be lucky I'm not putting you at 25%. Be at least 10% better than you were today. And as always, you guys do well. You can sign everybody out when you're done. But I just want you guys, I love you. I'm going to be sitting over here. If you have a question, he can say it out loud. And off camera, I might give my answer.
Go back to the comments.
Now entertain Tagster.
Oh, B uses her Sun Oven to make dog food. That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't cook my dog food to eat raw.
No, we cook the eggs whenever they have eggs.
Well, I don't. I feed my dogs raw too. Raw eggs too.
So, guys, the last 2 weeks, there's a lot of stuff that has happened, isn't there? It's kind of a different world. You know, one of the key points of prepping is is the world's always changing. Every day when you wake up, it's a different world, and we're seeing that play out right in front of our very eyes. This is the Chinese proverb, may you be blessed and living in exciting times. Yeah, we're seeing that, and how is it affecting us here? Number one, if you guys haven't been following it, I've been doing the Second Chance to Say No series, where I've been talking about psychological operations and propaganda. And it's very interesting watching this all play out in real time. Everything that I've talked about on the videos so far is playing out in real time right in front of us. And you can see the propaganda. You can see the psyops between the fiery but mostly peaceful protest version 2.0 to the shills for getting America involved in foreign entanglements. It's all playing out right in front of us, and it's more important now than ever in our lifetime that we understand what they're doing and how they're doing it. I don't want to see us get involved in another foreign war. Of course, what I want right now doesn't seem to matter. They're gonna do it anyway. I was reading an article, and I have not fact checked this. So if somebody wants to go fact check this, I read that they just passed a bill in the House, or it passed out a committee for automatic enrollment in the draft of every male between the ages of 18 and 25, 35, something like that. No, not women. So if somebody wants to go fact check that and see if that's true, I just saw it right before we came on. I did not get a chance to look into it. If that is true, that's a sure sign that the powers that be are going to get us into a war. President Trump's talking like it, and there are a bunch of neocons, a lot of MAGA people that are behind President Trump 100%. I'm going to say this right now. I am not. Israel can take care of this stuff by itself, and we don't need to be helping them. And there's the thing. Everybody's making the point, said, oh, we're headed towards World War III. Truth be told, we're already in it, because U.S. Navy ships have been shooting down Iranian missiles and drones for the past 5 days. So we are already involved in it, whether we want to be or not. Question is, how are we going to handle it? Right? Ian says America can't win World III because we can't manufacture like we used to. Well, neither can anybody else. There's not a single power in the world that can manufacture modern equipment fast enough to replace it once a proper shooting war starts. The best estimate that the Pentagon people have is 3 to 5 weeks of aircraft and missile if we get in a shooting war with China. And how are the American people going to react whenever the Chinese sink a U.S. aircraft carrier, killing 5,200 people, and then all the other pilots and everything? How's the American public going to react? I pose this question. Here, I'm going to pose this question to you guys. I want you to post your answer in the comments. Does America have the wherewithal to take up another Great Crusade? And if anybody doesn't know what the Great Crusade was, that was what they called the Western Allied attempt to land in Europe and take it back from the Nazis in World War II. So that was the Great Crusade. Do we as a country have the wherewithal to do that? No quarter says no. So there's 3 no's. Well, 2 no's and I don't think so. Very, very committal there. Very committed there, Skeins. Just say it. Type no. Type no. But, and we all know the answer to it. Now, there's nothing that says that won't change if something happens directly to the American homeland, which it would make a huge difference. But the fact is, right now, we've got as a country, we do not have the wherewithal. Yeah, Tag posted something about the Nimitz. They just deployed the Nimitz carrier. Just happens to be 50 years old. If we're going to lose one, yeah, rather you lose the old one. Did the Nimitz go to the Pacific or did it go to the Middle East? Well, I guess you got to go through the Pacific to get to the Gulf. Depends on where they're going to station it. But and so here's the thing. How does that affect us? Number one, we don't get distracted from what's important here. We don't get distracted from trying to get food independence. We don't get distracted about obtaining modern self-reliance, and we don't get distracted about building community. These are the things that will insulate us through any hard times that come from the follies of these people in Washington, D.C. and the global elite. And so it's just something we gotta keep going. Yeah. Okay. Let's address this. Breaking. Iranian media states there's a surprise that the world will remember for centuries. I'm sure that they've got something up their sleeve, but here's the thing about Arabs and Muslims. When they're on the ropes is when they talk the loudest and they say the most outrageous things. And if you guys remember back to the first Gulf War with Baghdad Bob, that's the way they are. That as a culture, that's the way they are, because it's all about saving face. The Western culture is built on a foundation of guilt, and Middle Eastern culture is based on a foundation of shame. And the repercussions of that are quite clear. And that's how our enemies are able to use they use it against us. And so they will say a lot of things, and I'm sure they've got something. I'm sure that the Iranians have something, because they're just like every other Middle Eastern country that's a fundamentalist state. They're cowards. And you notice Israel, and I'm not supporting Israel here. I'm not supporting the Israeli state here, even though I agree with the reasoning behind what they're doing. Israel has gone out and attacked military targets and political targets, and they've gone out and sent, just like they're doing in Gaza. They're telling the Iranian people, "Hey, we're going to bomb here. You need to leave the area." Tehran has been launching missiles at the citizens of Israel. They've been shooting at population centers. They have no qualm of killing innocent civilians. In fact, in their mind, it's doing a good thing. And here's something else you guys need to remember. A lot of people forget this. The people that are in charge of Iran right now are the 12th Imam people. They are the apocalyptic cult in Islam. They believe that there's a secret imam living in a well that can only be brought about through an apocalyptic event, and they have no problem doing that. And whether you like Israel or not, it makes no sense that a country as small as Israel, with only about 9 million people, if I remember correctly, in it, is a existential threat to the entire Muslim world, which spans several continents and has, I think last time I looked, it was something like 300 million people in it. It's ridiculous. All right. So anybody that's out there, I'm just going to say this: anybody that's out there supporting the Palestinians or the Iranians in this, they're not my countrymen. And I'm going to say it right now. I'm through pretending. I am through pretending anymore. These people are not my countrymen. They do not belong to the same nation that I belong to. And it goes for people that are waving foreign flags or flags of ideologies that are counter to the American founding and morals and ethics. These people are not my countrymen. And I'm not going to go out of my way to see things from their perspective, because their perspective, the Democrat Party is the party of death. and the people that support it are the party of death. And all you have to do is look at the news coverage and look at what their slogans. From the river to the sea. Now, whether you agree with the Zionist movement or not, from the river to the sea is advocating genocide, wiping out 9 million people or more. And these people spouting these slogans, they can't even tell you what river and what sea they're talking about. They just know that the river to the sea is an important thing. You know, and then the protesters, the ICE protesters. Do you guys realize that the ICE protests kicked off because people were upset that ICE was involved in a cartel criminal operation takedown? The ICE protests over the last 5 days now are all supporting criminals, cartel activity. This is what they are protecting. This is what the Democrats and the elitists and the people that are funding all these protests are supporting. Criminals, illegals. And then you've got these people. It's not illegal to be in the country. Well, actually it is. And if you've come into the country after being deported, which most of these criminals have, it's a felony. Now they'll sit there and they'll say, oh, you voted for a felon. You put a felon in office. Trumped up charges, no pun intended. But they have no problem. They have no problem with child rapists. And yes, I said it, YouTube, child rapists. And people that assault women and people that commit multiple crimes against innocent people. They have no problem protecting them. In fact, they helped them break out of jail in, was it Pasadena? One of the places in California that, maybe it was the one in New Jersey. Anyway, they helped them break out of their confinement. You know?
Ooh. Question.
Hang on, Angela's got a question. What?
Can you explain the Kingsman protest?
Oh, the No Kings protest. Before we go on, if there is anybody out there that stumbles on this video that was at the No Kings protest, I want to thank you guys. In fact, every single person here needs to thank somebody that was at the No Kings protest, because when I woke up on Monday morning, there was not a king in charge of our country. In fact, the only person in charge of our country, that's a relative term. The only person that was in charge of our country was a duly elected president. So the No Kings people did a fantastic job. Those were the best rallies because they kept America from having a king. So we need to get out there. If you're on social media and you run across a YouTube video of it, you need to get on there and thank them. Thank them for making sure that the duly elected president was still in place.
So it's actual stupidity.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard what she said. So she's right in thinking that it's actual stupidity. Oh, I'm going to say it. The No Kings people are retards. Plain and simple. They are retards. Did you guys see the video of the 74-year-old woman that I'm afraid of everything and I'm concerned and blah blah? Yeah, there's a reason why you're concerned, because you're watching CNN. Step away from the liberal media and it's amazing. Actually, let me rephrase that. Step away from all mass media. And any mainstream media, Fox, CNN, Vice, MSNBC, any of them. Step away from it and your life incrementally or exponentially gets better. Skane says Trump's thanked him too. Great minds think alike, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, Virginia, fear is a hell of a weapon, and they're using it, and they're lying to these people, and they're getting them to lie. Here's another one. I ran across this one today. This blew my mind. So there's a trend on TikTok where these liberals listen to this video of this little girl screaming about her mother being taken away, and they're crying and it's so evil, and how can you support somebody that does this? Turns out that the audio they're listening to was from a Peruvian movie, and you can literally get online and see the clip that I'm talking about. But these people are so brainwashed and so indoctrinated that they will believe anything that's put out in front of them. And Just because I'm not pretending anymore doesn't mean that I don't believe that we paint a better picture, guys. Seriously. The only way that we combat this, short of something going kinetic, is by painting a better picture. We need to paint a picture of a culture and a society and of communities that are better than what these other people can promote. And right now it's hella easy. They're making it so easy for us. You know, the people that say, well, 99% of the people in LA weren't affected by the violent riots. Yeah, but there were businesses that got looted. There were policemen that were hurt. There was a guy shot in Salt Lake City, innocent bystander, that got shot in Salt Lake City. You know, so people are getting hurt, it was just the one apartment building that was taken over in Colorado. It's just the 2 or 3 square miles in LA that's one too many. They say it all the time. If it saves just one child, you know what? If it saves just one business, then them not doing what they do is important. Just one burning car is too many. Well, and yeah, Skeins, you know, the news media got on there and literally said, it's just people having fun watching a car burn. Run that through. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it real slow. I'm going to say it really slow so it sinks in. It's just people having fun watching a car burn. This is normal. This is something that's normal to them. They want to normalize this. They want to make illegals being in the country normal. You know, and that's hey, Angela's about ready to have a conniption over here.
No, I just like whenever you're done.
What?
Can we also talk about, speaking on that note, General Massey actually putting out the comment on Trump's comment on illegal aliens, that farmers now are the reason that we should allow illegals in here?
Okay, I'm going to piss off all you Trump people. Trump has betrayed you. He betrayed me. Angela brought up the point that Trump backtracked and said that they're not going to work as hard to deport the illegals that are in the farming and food industry. Illegal's illegal. Nobody's above the law. How many times did we hear him say that? And it's not that these aren't jobs that Americans won't do. Americans won't do it at the prices that these people will pay illegals to do it. In fact, there was just a thing just yesterday, as a matter of fact, where they were looking at the repercussions of all these people. Over 1 million illegals have self-deported in the last 2 months, and wages have gone up, and more people are into these industries that were only good for illegals. And if you think about it, they have normalized the idea that these industries are only good for illegals. The only people that these are fit for are illegals. And if you listen to the Democrats, it's they're being completely open about the plantation. Now I've got this thing. If I ever get rich, if I ever hit the lottery or anything like that, I'm going to buy billboards in major American cities. I'm going to put them in the ghettos. And every election cycle, I'm going to put a billboard up downtown Kansas City, wherever, that says, "Black men, stay on the plantation, vote Democrat." And it's nothing more than to inflame them and to get them thinking about it. But if you listen to the rhetoric of Democrat politicians, who's going to pick our food? The one chick in Chicago. We're not going to have anybody to wipe our ass if we deport all the illegals. Talk about racist. Holy, yes, she literally said that. It was some city councilwoman in Chicago. But these people, they are the racists. You know, everything that they say that conservatives and patriots are doing are exactly what they do. And it's time that we stop pretending. It's time that we stop pretending that we can work things out. We do not need to change. If you're a conservative or you're a patriot and you have somebody in your life that is liberal, do not try to find equal ground with them. They need to come to you. They need to come to our way of thinking, because anytime we find middle ground with them, it's always us taking a step backwards and them taking a step forward. You know, so stop pretending that this is a we need to be equally yoked situation, because it's not. This is a actually, it's a battle of supremacy. Yeah, I'm going to say it. It's a battle for supremacy. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. There are two nations in this country: the people that believe in the founding of the government, the founding of America, and the ideas behind it, and the people that believe in Marxism and socialism and a post-constitutional America. These two ideas and these two nations can only exist in the same place in the same time for X amount of time. And that time is quickly drawing short. And it has nothing to do with the fact that people like me are stopping or are not pretending anymore. It's because they won't let it go. They will not let us cohabitate with them. They will not find middle ground. They will always look to get the upper hand. And the funny thing about it, this is the thing that I find hilarious, and this is true of every hardcore liberal that I've ever met. History shows us that whenever a socialist or liberal, leftist, whatever you want to call it, Marxist revolution happens, the first people that are up against the wall are other Marxists and liberals. They take care of the enemy within before they take care of the enemy without. Every single leftist that I know that thinks like this think that they're going to be one of the ones that survives that purge. To a person, every single one of them, every single one of them says that. Yeah, and they're so, how do I put this? There's such a sense of superiority among liberals that it's sickening. We had some conversations this last week about that issue, and it boggles my mind. And you know, they're all experts in everything. You know, they were experts in medical issues during the COVID. Then they became economic experts. Then they became legal experts, and now they're international politics experts. And we're heading for hard times economically, no matter what Trump does. You know, on July 6th, the BRICS nations are supposed to be rolling out their counter to the American dollar, which is going to be a gold-based strategy, and that very well could have negative impact on us. We may wake up on July 6th and find out that the dollar isn't worth as much as what it used to be. So again, this is why we plan. This is why we do things. I have not been doing it for the last 3 years, but I'm a huge advocate of precious metals, and I'm not just talking about gold and silver. Not a big fan of Bitcoin, but if you think that that's a good place for you to put your money, get it out of fiat dollars and get it into Bitcoin. You know, I'm also a huge believer in a lead and brass and copper being precious metals. You know, take that however you want. Put that together and see if you can figure out what I'm talking about there. You know, but it's time to really start looking at your own financial well-being. You know, and I'm not going to lie, one of the reasons why we bought the car when we did, instead of trying to nurse the Impala longer, was because I think we're in for some economic hard times. I think it's bound to happen. All the numbers are pointing that way. There are forces arrayed against us that are going to make it that way. If we get into a shooting war with Iran, I guarantee you that there's going to be sleeper cells activated. There's been an increasing amount of hacking attacks in the country. There's been an increasing amount of financial financial scams across the
Oh,
country.
fraud is terrible.
Yeah, the fraud, financial fraud is rampant. You know, so again, this is why we do what we do. You know, the if you wake up tomorrow morning and the economy is completely crashed, is it going to be an emergency for you? Answer honestly in the comments. You know,
for me.
if the economy collapses tomorrow, is it going to be a life-threatening event for you? I can honestly say, I'm not bragging. I'm not saying, look at me. I can honestly say, no, it will not be a life-threatening event for us here at Grumpy Acres. But that's because I've been looking at it for the past 20 years. You know, and we've been taking steps to make sure that we're insulated against something like that. Now, will it be fun? No, it will not be fun. Will it cause hardships? Yes, it will cause hardships. Yeah, it's going to suck. But you know what? We understand that. And when the time comes, we'll be able to embrace the suck and power through it. Hey, Anti. You know, and guys, listen, I'm not sitting here in front of you and I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly. I'm not trying to throw a bunch of negative stuff at you. This is just all stuff that we finally need to address. And we need to talk about it. And I'm going to say something here. And any of the ladies in the chat that get upset about this, you probably need to rethink it because if it applies to you, then you need to rethink where you're standing. Okay. I don't think it applies to anybody in our community, our online community. But you never know. Somebody might take offense. The number one threat to democracy in America is white liberal women between the ages of 18 and 35. That is the biggest threat to our country. If you get online, you can see it, and they're not a cause, they are a symptom, but that symptom is one that will kill the country. All right, Randy, take it easy. Getting up at 3. I'll probably be up at 3 a.m. local time anyway.
Not Randy.
You know, but and quite honestly, guys, post if you don't post it in the chat, get in the comments afterwards, and give me a solution, because quite frankly, I do not know how to fix that problem. I don't have a solution. I don't have an idea. How do you fix the 18 to 35-year-old female liberal demographic? How does that get fixed? You know, one thing that will help it. I don't think it'll fix it, but I think that would help it is if as men, you know, the median age of the people that listen to our videos is 45 to 75. That's the audience, the biggest audience group. Men in the group need to start teaching the young guys, the 15, 16-year-olds, the 18-year-olds, the 20-year-olds. We need to start teaching them how to be real men. Somebody made a comment on Father's Day, and they weren't saying it to be mean, but they made the comment. They said, "Okay, boys, happy Father's Day." And it struck me when they said that. Too many boys are having kids, and too many young adults are still boys, and they shouldn't be. Part of it's the culture. You know, they're raised. A lot of them are raised by single mothers. A lot of them are. 70% of the school teachers are female, so most of their formative years are spent around women. No offense, women, but a young man needs a male role model. And quite frankly, the boomers and the Gen Xers and the older millennials, we have not done a good job of the men in the group have not done a good job of mentoring these kids. This is one of the reasons why I'm a huge advocate of mentoring and getting the younger men involved and doing stuff so that they feel like they're an active member of the community. The beast that Killian, Killian came over on Sunday and cleaned out the chicken coops for me. and he did a good job for his age group in the first time doing it. And Ian, if you type something like that again, I'm going to ban you from the channel. Seriously. Yeah. If you type something like that again, I will ban you from the channel. Seriously. I'm not even going to play like that.
Just trying to rally it.
He posted in Salah. You know.
Can't do that.
I know he's trying to be a smart ass, but I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with that. That is not something to joke about.
Yeah. And we can take care of priority too. But he needs to know don't do that.
I just let him know. I'm not upset. Just I'm not going to play that game. But so as men, we should be reaching out and we should be teaching these kids how to become young men. And it boggles my mind. The average age in World War II was 21. The average age in Vietnam was 19. The United States of America, all the major players in American history were all in their late teens, early 20s. When they were doing stuff to conquer this country. The American West was conquered by 16 and 17 years old. Can they do that now? No, they can't. And whose fault is it? It's our fault. It's the older generations. So if we take any call to action away tonight, it's men, go out and find somebody to mentor. Hey, Gregory. But yeah, it's getting that time of year where chores, it's way easy to work past 8 o'clock. I mean, I found myself coming in at 9, 10 o'clock at night after working the past 3 or 4 weeks. It's been nice. I'm getting a lot done. Not gonna lie, the midday heat is getting to me, seriously. But I'm definitely appreciating the taking a nap in the afternoon. But anyway, so there's, again, it's an evil world we live in, and we have to navigate it. And Tag and I have this conversation constantly, and this is part of not pretending anymore. There are certain ideologies and there are certain things that I will no longer pretend that are compatible with what I believe in. And there are certain ideologies. There are certain ideologies and the people that follow these ideologies that I cannot find a middle ground with, plain and simple. And I'm going to say it, the Muslims. So if a Christian behaves in a fundamentalist manner, I'm not talking the stereotypical. I'm talking if somebody fundamentally believes in the teachings of Christ and they live by that, they're not going to go out and they're not going to commit violence. They're not going to go out and commit crimes. They're going to try to lead as sinless a life as possible. If a Muslim lives a fundamentalist Islam life, they are one fiery Friday sermon away from becoming a jihadi, plain and simple. The tenets of that religion say it's okay to lie to the non-believer. It's okay to oppress the non-believer. It's okay to steal from them. It's okay to tax them, which is theft. Taxation is theft. So if somebody truly believes that, I cannot find middle ground with them. I'm willing to have the conversation. I'm willing to argue the different aspects of the religions, in a calm and peaceful manner. I'm willing to do that. But we can't find a common ground. We can't find a common ground unless they step away from the tenets of that religion. And it's not a religion, it's an ideology. And I call it an ideology because it's got a religious aspect, it's got a military aspect, and it's got a political aspect. right? Christianity doesn't have that. And the people that are anti-Christian will say, what about Christian nationals? You know what? There's nothing in the Bible that truly supports the fundamental idea of Christian nationalism. Now, Christians behaving in a Christian manner will create Christian nationalism, but it's not the same thing as what is proposed. Forcing everybody to be in public office to be Christian. That's not something that is justified in the Bible, as far as I can tell. You know, I'm willing to argue that with somebody, but I can't see it. You know, so don't get me wrong. There are Christians out there. There are Christians out there that I can't find common ground with. Hey, let the cat join in. Let him walk on the keyboard, Gregory, and see if he has anything good to say. But you know, so and it's the zealots of every creed are the ones that are the problem, right? And we just need to be able to get past them. Oh man, well I threw some black pills at you guys tonight, man. I just like reached into my pocket and grabbed a whole handful and just
finish with the white pill.
Finish with finish with a white pill. Finish with the white pill. Okay, let's start from the 10,000 foot view and work our way down to the 10-foot view. 10,000 foot view. You know that anybody that wishes for a civil war or a revolution in America and wants it to go hot is acting or thinking foolishly. Because there's no guarantee of what happens during that conflict. We have no idea what's going to come out the other end, right? The only thing I will say about what will come out the other end of a civil war or a major conflict in America is that the ideas that were behind the foundation of America will still exist. The ideas of freedom and liberty, as canonized in the writings of the founding fathers and the people that they drew inspiration from, those ideas will still exist. So America will still exist. What America will look like, not a clue. I don't think anybody can have a clue. But as long as there's one person out there that has the idea of freedom and liberty in their soul and they're working towards it, even if they've got shackles on, America will still exist. They can't. It's an idea that cannot be obliterated. Right. So there's the 10,000 foot view. Then we get down. Let's get down a little bit lower. If you become involved in your community and you start becoming involved in the social organizations in the community, Elks, VFW, American Legion, the business councils and everything, if you become involved in those organizations, you can influence the culture in your locale. And that's where the big changes, the big changes, we cannot vote our way out of what's going on. What's going on in Washington, D.C., we cannot vote our way out of it. You know, we cannot fix America by voting harder, which a lot of people say. It's not going to happen. This is a cultural change. It's a structural change of society that's going to come from the ground up. And the only way that we influence that is if we get involved locally. You know, if you're a churchgoer or you're a believer, start going to church or synagogue or whatever and become involved and start molding the culture in those organizations to reflect the ideas behind the country. You have community groups like we've got. Start talking about these things. This is one of the things I'm trying to push with our group whenever we get together. We need to spend 10-15 minutes every time we get together and discuss something related to the foundational concepts in America so that everybody understands why we're doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it before, I'll say it again. This is very important. We have to understand why we believe what we believe. And if we understand why we believe what we believe, it will force us into behaving a certain way. And if we're behaving in a certain way, it will reinforce the whole idea of what we believe in, right? And so it becomes, like I said, a self-licking ice cream cone. So we need to do this. We need to educate ourselves. We need to educate people around us. And it doesn't mean browbeating them. It doesn't mean calling them stupid because they don't understand. It means sharing with them and giving them the tools that they need to come to the realization of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to develop. And then on a personal level, and this may be a physician heal thyself moment for me, but we need to make sure that our minds are in the right headspace. And we do this by making sure we're involved in community, because believe it or not, it does help. As much of a pain in the ass community can be at times, it does help. We need to take personal responsibility for everything that the stuff around us, and just take care of it. And this goes for the guys and the women. I said it earlier, call to action. Guys, take responsibility for those young men in your communities and be a good role model for them, and share your experiences with them. And I don't like using this word. I don't use it very much, but teach them what it means to be a man. Same thing goes for you ladies. Get involved with the young girls and the young ladies in your community, and teach them what it means to be a good lady, good female, good woman. I don't even know how to say it properly. But teach them what it means. And it doesn't mean that they become a trad wife or anything like that, but you give them the tools and the information for them to come to a conclusion about what they need to do with their life, and it will make a difference. And the personal involvement like that builds up to community involvement. Community involvement goes up to state involvement, and state involvement translates into national involvement. And we're getting to the point. We're getting to the point where we may just have to walk away from the federal government. Or not necessarily walk away, but just start ignoring it. It's Johnny B. He does like a meme thing every day. He's got a new T-shirt out that's his logo is a raccoon in tactical gear, and the T-shirt says "Commit tax fraud." I love it. I love that shirt. That is such a great shirt, and I love the idea behind it. We need to start civil disobedience and start doing this stuff. The question is, are you ready for the consequences? I'm the point now to where I'm ready for the consequences. Period. I am ready for the consequences. So I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to be blatant about it, but I'm going to start where I can, exercising my freedom and liberty at the expense of the government. Period. All right, guys. Hope I didn't chase anybody off. Hope if I upset you, then chances are you probably needed to be upset. Give you something to think about. Again, if you want to help the channel, go to the affiliate links down below. Help yourselves, and in the process, you'll be helping us. We try to take all the money that we get from the channel, and we like putting it back into the channel, getting better equipment, getting subscriptions to things that help us make better videos. But any little bit helps. Lord knows we're never going to get rich from YouTube. In fact, after what I said tonight, probably going to get dinged up a little bit. But that's okay. I did that last Second Chance to Say No video, and it's only been viewed by 41 people. So that they're already starting to shadow ban what I'm saying. So it's okay. All right, guys, listen. We've been at this an hour and a half. Going to have to go out and put animals away here pretty quick. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. It was good to be back. It was good to see everybody. We did miss you. Yeah, there's Anti found him, Johnny B. Spicy Freedom. He's also got the Killdozer t-shirts and flags in his shop, which I definitely I need to get one of those. I've always lived by the philosophy that if you see something wrong, speak out. I just proved that to all of you when I posted the proof earlier. Oh, okay. Oh, I told people what I thought about Islam, and I told people what I thought about white female liberals ages 18 to 35. What else did I say? I gave my views on civil disobedience. I gave I talked about the warmongers that want us to go get into another war. I talked about how Trump has betrayed us by his stance on the field workers. Actually, I didn't finish that thought. I got sidetracked. But anyway, it is what it is, man. I'm tired of pretending. I'm not going to do it anymore. But listen, guys, it was great seeing y'all. I want you guys to go out tomorrow and live a life done free. Share your experiences with everybody and take care of yourselves. All right.
Introducing Rockpot, the revolutionary portable slow cooking appliance that keeps your meals warm for over 9 hours without the need for electricity or propane. Simply heat the rock tablet on your stovetop or over a fire, place it in the Rockpot with your ingredients, and enjoy perfectly cooked meals wherever you are. Plus, the exterior remains cool to the touch, ensuring safe handling on all your adventures. Get $10 off your first purchase by clicking on the affiliate link and using the code GrumpyAcres at checkout. Elevate your outdoor cooking experience with Rockpot today.